With 36 seasons under its belt, The Simpsons has cemented its place as one of the longest-running and most beloved shows in television history. Its sharp satire and hilarious take on modern society have entertained us for decades. But beneath this seemingly innocent cartoon lies a chilling mystery. What if The Simpsons is more than just a TV show? What if it's a coded prophecy, a modern-day oracle revealing glimpses of our future with eerie accuracy? From predicting Donald Trump's presidency to the discovery of the Higgs Boson, famously dubbed the God particle, and even astonishing technological advancements, the list of Simpsons predictions is as long as it is unsettling. Is it all just a coincidence? Or is there a deeper, hidden conspiracy at play? Join us as we uncover the truth behind the Simpsons prophecies that have left the internet buzzing with curiosity and intrigue. Since ancient times, humanity has been captivated by the desire to see and understand the future. From the oracles of Delphi to Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce, history is filled with those who claimed to read the fate of mankind. And while some of their predictions were eerily accurate, none have been as oddly precise as the modern-day, yellow-skinned prophets of The Simpsons. If you've ever ventured into popular online forums like Reddit, you've probably come across the growing buzz over the past few years. Do The Simpsons predict the future? Theories are everywhere, buried deep in endless threads and debates. Some say the show's creators are high-ranking Freemasons. Others claim the writers are time travelers. There are even wild speculations about the show being a government propaganda tool or proof of time's cyclical nature. Sure, some predictions might seem like coincidental parallels, but then there are the ones that leave you speechless. Predictions so extraordinary they require advanced knowledge of math, physics, or simply an uncanny ability to foresee the impossible. So, how does The Simpsons do it? How does a simple cartoon manage to predict major events years before they happen with almost flawless accuracy? Buckle up, because our journey to uncover this mystery starts now. Let's dive into some examples, shall we? One of the most famous predictions from The Simpsons is their eerie foresight of Donald Trump becoming president. On March 19, 2000, an episode aired where Lisa Simpson is portrayed as the first female president of the United States. In that future, she mentions inheriting the role from none other than Donald Trump. Fast forward 16 years to November 8, 2016, and this bizarre prediction becomes a reality when Trump is elected president. Now, here's a fun fact. You might have come across viral TikTok videos showing side-by-side comparisons of Trump descending an escalator in real life and a similar scene from The Simpsons. These videos often claim that the show predicted this specific moment years in advance. But let's not jump to conclusions too quickly. That escalator scene was actually added to The Simpsons after Trump's real-life descent. It wasn't a prediction, just clever commentary. I wanted to include little clarifications like this because, let's face it, people are quick to believe everything they see. But not here. We're sticking to the real, tangible, and undeniably fascinating predictions. So, let's keep going with the ones that truly leave us speechless. Now, let's take a closer look at some other fascinating predictions. Back in 1993, during Season 5, Episode 10, The Simpsons featured a circus scene where a white tiger attacks its trainer. Fast forward 10 years, and in real life, Roy Horn, of the famous duo Siegfried and Roy, was attacked by his own white tiger during a live performance. Then there's the 2007 Simpsons movie, where the NSA, National Security Agency, is shown spying on everyone. Fast forward to 2013, and Edward Snowden, a former NSA employee, reveals to the world the agency's massive surveillance program. In 1996, during the episode When You Dish Upon a Star, there's a moment where the Fox network's sign humorously states, "One Walt Disney Division." 21 years later, this tongue-in-cheek gag becomes reality when Disney officially acquires Fox, making it a subsidiary. These are just a few examples, but here's where things get even stranger. Two predictions that truly stand out. One hints at one of the biggest modern conspiracies, and the other references one of the most complex discoveries in physics years before it happened. On September 21st, 1997, during the episode The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, Lisa rushes in holding a magazine. The cover shows the words New York in bold letters. In the background, the Twin Towers resemble the number 11, and right in front, a bold $9 price tag is prominently displayed. The combination, 9 and 11, along with the visual symbolism of the towers, seems to eerily reference the September 11th attacks. What's even more baffling is that this episode aired 5 years before the tragedy. Naturally, fans have repeatedly questioned the show's creators about this scene. Josh Weinstein, one of the writers, has firmly stated that it's just an unrelated coincidence. But here's the thing. Given the overwhelming evidence suggesting that 9/11 was meticulously planned and executed, with countless visual and media clues foreshadowing the event, it's hard not to let your mind wander. Was this really just a coincidence? Or were there larger forces at play? It's the kind of thing that makes you pause and wonder. Let's keep unraveling these mysteries. So, at this point, you're probably thinking, wow, all those wild theories about the Simpsons writers having secret access to classified information must be true. TikTok was right all along. But hold your horses. Let's not get carried away just yet. It's time to uncover the truth behind the curtain. How many writers do you think a typical show has? 5, 10, maybe 20 for a big production? Usually, it's not some crazy high number, right? Well, guess how many writers have contributed to The Simpsons over the years? Over 155. Yes, you read that right. At least 155 people have been part of the writing team, which is already a staggering figure. But what's even more impressive is the caliber of these writers and their backgrounds. Let me give you a few examples. Take Al Jean, one of the show's longest-serving writers. He holds a degree in mathematics from Harvard. Mike Rice, also a Harvard grad, but in English literature. David Cohen, he's got a physics degree from Harvard and a master's in computer science from Berkeley. Jeff Westbrook, a Harvard mathematics degree and a Princeton PhD in computer science. The list goes on. Chemists, physicists, mathematicians, literary scholars, social scientists, you name it. Now, what does this have to do with The Simpsons seemingly predicting the future? The answer is simple. When you put a room full of insanely intelligent people together and ask them to craft stories based on their knowledge and the current trajectory of events, you end up with scripts that are scarily good at predicting future scenarios. Let me tie this back to the example I mentioned earlier. Homer Simpson casually writing down an equation that eerily resembles the formula for the Higgs Boson's mass 15 years before its discovery. Remember that? Well, here's the backstory. The person responsible for including that equation in the episode was none other than David Cohen, another one of the show's brilliant writers. For that scene, Cohen collaborated with Columbia University physics professor David Shiminovich. Together, these two math and physics enthusiasts developed the advanced formula that you see on Homer's chalkboard. Yep, they created that highly complex equation just for a brief gag. And while it's true that the formula's prediction came shockingly close to the actual CERN findings 15 years later, let's not forget, this is particle physics we're talking about. That tiny margin of error, with all those zeros, might seem small, but in the world of physics, it's still significant. That being said, it's an incredible feat. These brilliant minds, working on something as seemingly trivial as a cartoon joke, managed to achieve something remarkable. And that's the point. When experts with deep knowledge in their fields come together and brainstorm scenarios, even if it's for comedy, their unique perspectives and advanced analytical skills can lead to predictions that feel almost prophetic. So no, The Simpsons isn't the result of some secret government conspiracy or time-traveling writers. It's simply the outcome of highly intelligent people combining their expertise to create sharp, witty, and occasionally eerily accurate storytelling. Let's take the Donald Trump example again. A lot of people might think, how could they possibly have predicted he'd become president? That's just crazy. But the thing is, The Simpsons didn't actually predict it out of nowhere. About 20 years before the show aired that infamous episode, Trump himself was already talking about the possibility of running for president, on Oprah Winfrey's show no less. And that was just one of many interviews he did where he floated the idea. So, while it might seem strange to us, to those who are keeping an eye on the political landscape, Trump becoming president was a completely plausible scenario. Now let's look at Edward Snowden and his revelation about NSA surveillance. The Simpsons actually aired an episode in 2007 about the NSA spying on people, but once again, this wasn't some secret or mind-blowing revelation. For anyone who's done their research, this was something that wasn't exactly under wraps. Have you heard of the Echelon Project? It's a US digital surveillance program that was established during the Cold War and became fully operational in the 1990s. This project monitored nearly all electronic communication around the globe. Yes, that means you too. All it takes is mentioning a few key phrases and boom, you're on the radar. In fact, before both The Simpsons and Snowden came into the picture, Echelon was already being used by the NSA, and a whistleblower named Margaret Newsham revealed this. What The Simpsons did wasn't about seeing the future. It was about reading the trends and doing their homework. They were simply reflecting what experts had already observed. They didn't need a crystal ball. They just paid attention. For example, Lady Gaga singing while suspended at her concert, or Lisa wearing the same color dress as Kamala Harris. These are cool moments, but let's be real. They're not some big, out-of-this-world predictions. Thousands of artists have done similar things at concerts, and hundreds of politicians wear purple because it represents power and quality. Sure, when you edit these things together and present them dramatically, they might seem impressive. But as I said earlier, this is the result of a large group of experts working hard to create plausible scenarios for a show. Let's dive into the numbers. Over 776 episodes of The Simpsons, they've made about 150 predictions, big and small, and about 30 of them turned out to be accurate, either partially or fully. But is The Simpsons the only show making these predictions? Of course not. Predicting political and social trends isn't that hard. The real challenge, I think, is predicting technological advancements. Take Star Trek, for example. This universe first appeared in 1967, just 16 years after color TV was introduced, and it predicted things like holograms, teleportation, faster-than-light travel, cell phones, robots, and more. And it didn't just show us these things, it influenced the scientific advancements that followed. Today, NASA's experiments with faster-than-light travel, led by Harold White, are based on the warp drive principles shown in Star Trek. Science often follows science fiction, as we all know. As of now, there are over 900 episodes in the Star Trek universe. If we look at its success rate in predicting the future, it's about 40 successful predictions. But don't forget, predicting something like Lady Gaga singing in the air at a concert is very different from predicting the development of an atomic food synthesizer. There's a serious gap between those kinds of predictions. When we talk about predictions, I'm not even including books like the Dune Chronicles or Isaac Asimov's I, Robot or Foundation, which I strongly recommend reading. When you see the kind of predictions they made, it'll blow your mind. The point is, in a world where even a single author like Asimov made dozens of incredible predictions about the future, the fact that 150 experts working together on a show could make 30 accurate predictions, either directly or indirectly, isn't some big mystery. It's simply the result of great writing and a well-thought-out analysis system. I know that when I break down popular internet topics like this, some people leave comments complaining, "What about this? What about that?" But I'm not saying that these videos are meant to strip away all mystery or that nothing out there is unexplainable. I'm just saying that 90% of the claims you hear online can actually be explained. That's why I make these videos, to encourage people not to believe in things that can be debunked. My message on this channel has always been, let's first use science and logic, and then leave the rest for the unknown. When we approach things with logic and science, the truth becomes crystal clear. If you're still curious, I've left a link to a book by one of the head writers of The Simpsons explaining this in more detail in the description. For anyone who doesn't believe me, go ahead and check it out. He breaks it all down. And for those who still don't believe him, there are interviews and explanations from the show's creators online too. If you still don't believe those, well, maybe they'll start believing in the Smurfs if they're good enough. What can I say? Thanks for sticking with me until the end of the video. I hope you found the breakdown of the Simpsons predictions and their origins as interesting as I did. Remember, just because something seems mysterious doesn't mean it can't be explained with a bit of science and logic. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And if you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, keep questioning and stay curious.